I'm Trisna, I'm the English education student, and in this case, I want to explain about e-learning. I pick up this explanation into 10 questions to make you understand the point. So, let's start it. The first, what is online learning? This is the definition of online learning. First, online learning. Online learning is the course that conducted via online or internet. In this case, is not face-to-face to the teacher. The student do this online learning everywhere and anytime. And this online learning basically conducted through internet. There are two types of learning. The first is synchronous learning. The second is asynchronous learning. Let's talk about synchronous learning first. Synchronous learning is a learning activity that happens in the same time. It means that it is like the usual learning, like in the classroom. The teacher and the student do a learning directly at the same time and at the same place. The second is asynchronous learning. This is learning activity happen in the different time. Basically, online learning belongs to the asynchronous learning, which means happen in the different time, with student flexibility or flexible to do their learning activity. For example, make assignment or project everywhere, anytime they want. It is more flexible. Next question. What are the basic features of an LMS? There are so many features of an LMS. The first is announcement. Announcement is the new updated by teacher. This is the new reminder or new notification that teacher give when she or he give some new assignment or new project to do for the student, and it will appear in the notification section. The second is syllabus. Syllabus is an overview of the course, online course in the form of online. In this case, syllabus is the tile of the course that will be delivered. Lesson. Lesson is the content course or the topic course. In this case, content or the topic that will be delivered during the online learning. Next, discussion forum. Discussion forum is a discussion feature to share information or idea in form of asynchronous communication between student and the teacher. This is like online discussion between teacher and a student in the different time. Because this is the online learning, the student can do this discussion everywhere or anytime they want. The next one is the Dropbox or assignment upload. This feature is a digital space for students to upload their work. The next one is the gradebook. The gradebook is a tool that shows student attendance, participation, reading, assignment, and project grade. This tool is used for the teacher to grade student works and used for the teacher. This tool enables student and the teacher to review and track the academic progress throughout the semester. The next tool is course email. Course email is the asynchronous communication tools that enable the teacher to send message to the class member. It is like the more private communication or conversation between student to the teacher in the form of email, like a message. The next is resources. Resources is student reference in online learning. Resources is like something that can access by student sometime, or basically the teacher provide a link to that can be accessed by the student in the online learning. Resources can be a video on YouTube, or document, PDF, journal, and etc. Let's move to the next question. An example of a good introduction writing for one topic meeting. Let's talk about the example of introduction as a teacher. Here the example. First, don't forget to grade the student. Dear my old student, today we will discuss about narrative text. The section contains presentation and example of narrative text. Read it as individually. After that, answer these 10 questions as clear as possible to check your understanding. Upload all your questions in the submission section. The due date is today, 19th October 2019 at 11:59 p.m. That is the example of introduction for the online learning. The next is, don't forget to say good luck. Next is, why online material must be attractive and what elements are needed. Of course, online learning is different like the usual learning or printed learning. Online learning must be attractive because it focuses on aesthetic side which can interest students to learn. Online learning is belief that the appearance or the look of the online learning is the same important like the content in it. And online learning different like the printed learning because online learning must be able to persuade the reader or the student to interest to learn. And the element are needed are big layout, text, color, and graphic element. Actually, this is just the basic element. Let's talk first about page layout. Page layout is the page arrangement, and it includes white space, justification, line, headings, and subheading. White space is a space it's a space between the line with the paragraph. This space can make the reader have a visual break to read, not just uncluttered page. It makes the learner easier to get the point. And then justification. Justification is the layout for the paragraph. Basically, we should use the left and right justification to make the text is flow and the reader understand where is the flow of the content or the topic. And then length lines. The too long length lines to make the reader what is that? To make the reader or difficult to get the point, the length line must be a standard, not too long or not too short, to make the reader understand, to make the text are readable. And headings and subheading. Heading and subheadings is like the point that should be focused by the reader. Next is text. Text arrangement is the important to draw attention aspect that are focusing in the material that delivered. It includes color, typeface, or style of type size. It's important because if the text is too small or the color of the text is not clear to see by the reader, it can distract the material. The next is color. There is a good contrast between the text and background. Of course, the background and text should be balanced. Don't make the text and background with the same color. Make the different color to make the text easier to see by the reader. And then graphic element. Graphic element is the most important thing. It's the visual element, for example, icon, shading, and color. This graphic element is the element to persuade the learner to interest to learn. So, as a teacher, we should be creative to make the online learning, because we should be able to make the reader trust our topic. Online learning is like a product, and we should be able to make the customer trust to our products. What are types of online learning activities? Online learning types. There are several types of online learning. The first is class discussion. Class discussion is discussion section between teacher and student, or the student to the another student, or the discussion activity in the online learning, the sharing thought or ideas that they have. The tools of this activity is like discussion forum or discussion section. The second activity is journal writing. This activity is provide the student to make their own work or own writing. For example, the teacher given a topic and student should write something, then upload it into the tools called blog. This blog provides students to reflect themselves to make their own writing. The third one is shared knowledge base. Shared knowledge base is collaboration between student to the teacher, or between group to share their thought or their idea, then construct it. Example tools of this shared knowledge base is wikis, Wikipedia. In this tool or platform, the student can revise or can give addition explanation about that what they know, or sharing their knowledge. Then practice exercise. This practice exercise is like test or quizzing to assess how much student already achieved the outcome in the online learning. For the example of this practice exercise can be multiple choice, matching, fill in the blank, or search answer, and many more. Next one is project. Project is the multiple options such as works group, wikis, blog, discussion forum. Project is something that have a specific purpose to achieve by individual or a group. Project can be group presentation or project research. The last one is receptive activities. This activity is an activity to know the ability of student to gain the information that are provided by the teacher. It can be information from the YouTube and podcast, PDF, Google presentation, and etc. The next question is, how does a teacher optimize discussion in order to have an effective online learning? Great question. Online discussion is one of the important activity in the online learning, and in this case, for optimizing the online discussion in order to get the effective learning, teachers have a role. As a teacher, the teacher should contribute in online discussion. Teacher should giving feedback to the student comment. We as teacher cannot leave our student alone in a discussion to construct the information by themselves. That can appear the strange assumption about the information. We as teachers should, as a guide for student, guide which one is right, guide the discussion to make the student understand the material. Next question is, what learning resources that can be used in online learning to engage learner? There are so many resources that can be used in the online learning. Learning resources is the learning reference that can be accessed by students to engage in the online learning. It can be video from YouTube, image or picture from Google, journal from website, song from SoundCloud, or etc. There are so many resources that can be accessed by the student to engage in the online learning. And basically, the teacher always provide a link that to make student easy to access the learning resources. Next question is, what is the example of effective assessment in the English online teaching and learning? I will tell you the example of the assessment in the online learning. Automatic computer generate feedback is one of the effective assessment in the online learning. There are so many assessment in the online learning, but I pick one that I suggested is automatic computer generated feedback, because it can automatically give grade to the student and get feedback after test. It's actually that application or that computer will show how many are right or wrong answer, and in end section you will have the explanation about the answer, and you can get the personal or self-assessment from that. It can automatically give you a feedback, so you can have a self-assessment or self-reflection. The next question is, what are the basic elements to consider when building an online course? Let's check this out. There are 4 element that should be considered to build an online course. The first is learning outcomes. The second is the online syllabus. The third one is the course outlines. And the fourth one is the course outlines to online lessons. This is the basic element to build an online course that should be considered. The first one, let's talk about the learning outcomes. Learning outcomes is what teacher want student to achieve in the learning, in the online learning. It guides a teacher to develop their online learning. The second is the online syllabus. Online syllabus, as I have explained before, it is the overview of the course outline. It contains a very detailed course outline and through good explanation of how the online course is organized and how it will operate. The syllabus contains a very detailed of online course, the assignment, and it's like framework for the teacher to develop the online learning. The course outline. The course outline is the course content or the topic course. Course outline is the like the to-do list. What are the online learning are going? What will teacher going to do in the online learning for the student? And the last one is from course outline to the online lesson. It should be considered the 3 steps. The first is begin with the learning outcomes. As I have said, learning outcome is very important because it guides a teacher to develop the learning, the online learning. The learning outcome is something like student be able to blah blah blah. Student be able to. It's something like the expectation or the result of the online learning. That should be reached by the student, and then it's working backward. In this case, the teacher should create the criteria of assessment, what the criteria are going to assess in the learning process. The last is use assessment to assess the student. Implement assessment to assess the student works, student skill or knowledge in the online discussion or the online learning. Now, the last one is I would like to give you an example on a lesson for one meeting. This example is based on my experience as the college student. This online learning activity is belong to the online discussion in interpreted reading course. In this case, my lecture gave online course in form of online discussion through Schoology. My lecture upload a hot topic to discuss, like plastic waste can be harmful for planet. And first, I should read the file that my lecture posts. After I read that, I should contribute in the discussion by giving a comment. Whether I agree or not with that topic and what kind of solution that I provide for that topic, and all of my friends participate in this discussion. My lecture role in here is as a guide for this discussion and contribute in this discussion and giving feedback to my comment. Maybe there are so many examples of the discussion or online learning activity, but this is the example based on my experience. I hope you get my point. I think that's all about my explanation about e-learning. Thanks for watching. Thank you. Bye-bye.